Welcome back everyone to another retrospective video. I'm Shadospartan, and for this month we will finally be checking out Far Cry 3. Released in 2012, this open world first-person shooter was published by Ubisoft and developed by Ubisoft Montreal. I'm assuming you've seen my other two Far Cry videos, so you know the history. The only thing to update is Far Cry 6 finally came out, and I'm going to wait for a sale and play it at some point. Maybe I'll do a Let's Play on it. Far Cry 3 became the game in the series that all future Far Cry games would essentially copy, and just make small tweaks to the formula. Even to this day, it's still fun, but the later games feel like expansions or better versions of Far Cry 3. For example, you can't pick up bodies until Far Cry 4, so in this game you need to backstab an enemy and drag him to a safe spot. In Far Cry 5, you get allies to assist you throughout the game. Overall, it's still a great game to play, and definitely pick it up during a Steam sale or on any console. As usual, we're going to go through the story, so spoiler warning, what I liked and disliked, and any funny or awkward moments that happened to me during my playthrough. Let's learn the definition of insanity. We start off with quotes from Alice in Wonderland, then jumping to a video of a bunch of young adults enjoying a vacation on an island. I'd play the audio, but I'm worried about a copyright strike from the music. But then we get to meet Voss, our villain. Actually, it's this guy in the background, but everyone thought Voss would be the villain since, he was in all the promotional material, including the box art, but we'll get to that. You play as Jason Brody, and you're tied up with your brother in a cage. Voss does a great job putting fear in me and showing how he's in charge, and we are in his world now.
Look me in the eye! You're my bitch! I rule this kingdom. Shut the up!
He leaves, and then your brother Grant somehow gets free. Turns out he was in the army. You follow your brother, and the game gives you little pop-up tutorials, how to crouch, and what a detection meter is. If you want to know more, you can go to the menu and look at the tutorials again. Do remember about throwing rocks. They are a useful tool for distracting guards.
Oh God, I can't do this, Grant.
Jay, look at me. I can't find Lisa and Riley and the others without you. So pull it together. Okay?
Okay, sorry.
If you want, you can stay and watch Voss execute a couple of people. I couldn't hear much, but he did say nobody would buy them, so they're useless to him. Then the video game logic begins.
We have to get past him.
I understand it's a game, but they clearly can't see us.
We continue sneaking around and get outside to look at a map and come up with a plan.
We're gonna find him, we're gonna free the others, and then we're going home.
I like that. No, I respect that. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. And if the jungle doesn't eat you up alive,
Jason sprints into the forest and you learn about climbing. When you come out, Jason gets ambushed. It's a quick time event, but an important character moment. It's Jason's first kill, and he has a moment of shock before deciding to run again. You get to a bridge and then fall into a river. Then an arm pulls you out and cut to title. Wow, that was quite an intro. Thumbs up to the devs, great job. Jason wakes up to someone putting a tattoo on his arm, or as he calls it, this is Dennis, and one quick thing he mentions is insanity. We all know the quote, and it's going to be a theme of this game, so keep that in mind. Dennis says Jason is a warrior, but Jason doesn't seem like one based on the intro. However, over the course of the game, he will go through a transformation. Dennis shows you the village, and Jason is famous because he escaped Voss's slave camp. The people on the island who will be your allies are called the Rakyat. Dennis gives you money to go buy your first gun. For now you can only hold one weapon, but later can unlock 4 at once, along with grenades. The weapons range from pistols, SMGs, assault rifles, snipers, and rocket launchers. There are some special weapons like a bow and a flamethrower. The dealer does mention to you if you get the radio towers online, she can get more weapons. You can buy them with money you earn from missions, but why do that when you can just spend a couple minutes doing platforming to get to the top and unlock the tower, and then get weapons for free? It's also important to do because it reveals the fog of war on your map and radar. Then take the zip line down. It's also important to see where certain animals are on the map because hunting animals will unlock things like carrying more weapons and ammo. You will also notice plants for you to harvest. These are used to craft syringes. Usually I create medicines for healing, but you can craft syringes for spotting animals, dealing more damage, or resistant to damage. Then Dennis shows you the skill tree you'll be unlocking throughout the game. You can't unlock whatever you want. Also, you start in the middle and have to unlock certain skills first before unlocking others. After that, Jason gets a call that one of his friends is being held at a nearby outpost. So you can either go in guns blazing and shoot all the enemies, or take a more stealthy approach. As you know, the previous two Far Cry games did not have great stealth mechanics. But in Far Cry 3, they created a much better system. You can hide in bushes and the enemies won't see you. The detection meter will pop up if an enemy is beginning to see you, and once it's filled, they will shout out and alert other guards. However, it is funny to be far enough away that standing will get you spotted, but crouching makes you invisible. More video game logic. It's not a perfect system, but at least it does do a great job to make you feel like you're being stealthy. When you're spotted, every guard knows your general location. If you ever played Splinter Cell Conviction or Blacklist, it's basically the same system, which would make sense since Conviction came out about 2 years before this game. It's a nice system because you can stealth away and sneak up on enemies from another angle or flank them. You get 500 experience for taking it, but if you did it undetected, then you get 1500 experience. So it's worth taking the time and silently taking out everyone. You do get some experience for killing enemies in this game, so over time you will level up and eventually unlock everything. I think this is a great progression system. Play how you like, but playing a certain way will help you level up faster. Anyway, Jason hears on the radio his friend escaped. He goes outside and the Rakyat are impressed, and calls Jason a warrior. Dennis says they found his friend to the west with a man named Dr. Earnhardt.
Keep your head up, Jason. The tribe is very impressed with you.
So I begin heading over there, and driving in this game feels great.
Whoops.
Along the way, I decided to take over some outposts. It's important because enemy patrols guard the roads both on foot and in vehicles. I felt this was a major issue from the last game that the developers made sure to address. Seriously, it was annoying to have to fight every checkpoint in Far Cry 2. Sure, I could just drive through it, but sometimes the enemies would hop into a vehicle and chase after me. Here you can permanently remove them from the area and clear the whole island of enemies. If you think that will make the game boring, then just reset all the outposts and do it again. Or don't take the outposts and continue playing through the game with the added challenge. It's great to have that option to play how you want. After freeing the outposts, they do offer a few bonus missions. Some are hunting or assassination missions, but also check around for driving challenges. All of this is bonus content, so you don't have to do them. I spend the next few hours unlocking towers, liberating outposts, and unlocking skills, until finally getting to the doctor's mansion. He makes drugs and tells you your friend Daisy is upstairs. You go there and find her sick. The doctor says he's been taking care of her, but he ran out of medicine. So you go to a nearby cave to get a mushroom for the antidote.
Think nothing of it. The girl must live. For you and me both.
At first I was creeped out by that, but it turns out later the doctor had a daughter, and Daisy reminds him of her. That's why he cares for her. So just follow the marker and swim into the cave. Jason will start going on an acid trip. Eventually finding the mushrooms. Head back to the mansion and Jason will give the mushroom to the doctor. Then you head upstairs to talk to Daisy. You tell her about Grant and then talk to the doctor.
Jason, whoever did this, whoever killed Grant, deserves to die.
Jason asks if he can bring his friends here. The doctor says no, but Daisy changes his mind. Dennis contacts Jason and tells him how to find his friends. He tells him to go to a ship that the pirates use as a communication center. I arrive and first take out the pirates. After looting the 3 radio operators, you can enter the ship and use the radio to try and find Jason's friends, when apparently someone set off an alarm, despite killing everybody in the area. Reinforcements begin to show up. You take them out, then Dennis calls and says Voss wants them dead, so you need to head back to the village and help Dennis. Instead, I spend some time hunting. Then fast travel to the village. You tell Dennis about your friends, but the Rakyat asks for your help first. Jason agrees to go and disable the alarm. grab their explosives, and then destroy their weapons. But first, I liberate an outpost, then go unlock a tower, but there was this awkward moment. A Rakyat ally got attacked by a mountain lion, so I tried shooting it, but instead the other two allies treated it as if I was trying to kill their friend. Anyway, I get to the camp and first use my sniper to tag enemies. Once they've been tagged, you will always see them highlighted. So I slowly stealth kill each guard, but somehow I hit this cement block instead of this guy's head. Now I carefully take out the last 3 guys who tried their best looking for me. Get inside, plant the bomb, then get out. Dennis calls and asks what Jason found out about his friends. Jason mentions a place called PC. Dennis says it's called Pirate's Cove, so he heads there. When you get there, Daisy calls and says she went down into a cave and found something, so Jason says he will come by when he finishes. You first need to kill the camp operator to get the key to the prison. Once again, I carefully sneak around, slowly killing off pirates until I kill the operator. Jason heads into the cave to see where the ransom videos are being recorded, but Jason gets ambushed. Jason wakes up with 2 of his friends and Voss. He asks where you got the tattoo, and if it was his sister that gave it to him. He talks about family, and judging by his screaming, something happened between him and his sister.
You see, the thing about our loved ones, right? Our loved ones! They come and they blindside you every time. So they say to me, they say, Boss, who the is it going to be? Them or me? Me or them? like, you know, like they think that I need to make a choice.
Anyway, the lighter doesn't work, so he puts it in Jason's shirt pocket. Keep a mental note of that. Then he lights a match and starts a fire. They take Oliver, but Jason falls through the floor. Wait, how do I still have my weapons? Video game logic? Anyway, you run upstairs and get Lisa. Both jump out and land safely outside. Then you have a turret section. Just shoot at the bad guys with your grenade launcher. Don't worry, you have infinite ammo because video game logic. So it's pretty fun, but not much to say. You hop into the front seat and shoot with a pistol. Lisa is still in shock, but Jason calms her down and takes her to Daisy, who discovered a boat in a cave. Lucky for us, she knows how to fix boats. That's convenient, but I'll take it. Jason helps with the repairs, then talks to Lisa and reassures her that he will get their friends back. You can take a pill to find out how you and your friends got to the island. I wish I could play the audio, but it's playing copyrighted music. It goes like this.
I think you're freaky and I like you a lot.
Not much to do, but Jason gets shots for everybody. Jason goes outside and Dennis calls. Jason tells him he's not strong enough to fight Voss, but Dennis says to meet him at the Rakyat temple to meet Citra. But first I must liberate more outposts. At this outpost, a tiger did most of the work and 1 guy burned to death. After that, I meet up with Dennis at a temple. You awkwardly follow him in. Seriously, Dennis chooses to start running for a second. Then you get to meet Citra. She asks what you want. Jason says he wants revenge. Citra doesn't believe him, but Jason is a changed man and lets her know how badly he wants revenge. She gives you something to drink, which takes you into a dream sequence. I personally don't like these because they slow the pace of the game down way too much. Story-wise, Jason follows this man, then sees Keith with a strange man, then Jason and Voss, then Riley and this guy from the beginning of the game, then find a knife at an altar, only to get crushed. Jason wakes up to Dennis adding more to his tatau. This means you can unlock more skills. You tell him what you saw and he points you to a town at the end of the island. So I begin heading there, but along the way I liberate a few more outposts. I did have this intense battle with pirates, where they chased me, so I pulled over and fought them. Then another patrol rolled up, then another. I do love Jason pulling a bullet out of his arm to heal, because video game logic. And then a 4th patrol showed up, which I easily took out. I got pinned down by the last pirate who was manning a turret. He kept shooting at the vehicle, so when I heard it caught fire, I ran to watch the idiot blow himself up. And then a 5th patrol showed up, but I quickly took them out. However, that was fantastic, and it was unscripted. This is why I love the Far Cry games. I liberate some more outposts and unlock more towers. While taking an outpost, this happened.
Who the hell just threw a Molotov exactly where I am?
Seriously, the base didn't know where I was, but I had a Molotov thrown at me on the top of this cliff. Anyway, I did eventually get spotted and had to fight reinforcements to liberate the outpost. Then more towers, and even more outposts. There are a lot of them. So after an hour of towers and outposts, I finally arrived at the town. Jason goes and plays some poker and sees the man from his dream. The men at the table talk about Jason and his nickname, Snow White.
Snow White escapes from Voss's prison camp. Next thing you know, he's killing guys over machine.
They also mention about a man named Hoyt, which is the actual villain of the game and is Voss's boss. Then Jason goes all in and the man comes over and says,
Nice play.
so now you tail him. If you've seen my Thief 2 video, then you already know how much I dislike tail missions. Seriously, nothing happens. He walks slow and I keep up. It's so boring. Please, developers, no more tail missions in video games. Or at least give us something to do, or stuff is happening around us to make it interesting. Like this guy getting money from a hooker, which does become a side mission for you to do. Anyway, you follow him into a house.
You have 10 seconds to tell me who you are before I remotely detonate the C4 under the table and this whole place explodes like a pop bottle.
Jesus!
I doubt it. 5 seconds.
Jason Brody!
He asks if you're a true patriot, and that Voss has your friend Oliver, and he's close to finding Keith. However, you need to help him first. So you go down into the basement and meet Agent Willis. He needs you to go burn some drugs.
Capiche? I feel like that's only an Italian thing. Only Italians can say that. It's like spraying furniture gold. You know what I mean? Anyway, here's the gun.
Wow. Thanks.
You call Dennis and let him know about Hoyt. Dennis tells you that Hoyt is the reason for Voss and his insanity. You go to the fields and burn the drugs. I'd also like to play the audio, but again, copyrighted music. Blow up the boat, then go back to Willis. He talks more about society and how important it is because otherwise you have chaos and insanity.
There's a reason I have the American flag in here. In here, there's society, there's order. Out there, the jungle, the synapses in our brains go dark little by little. You forget where you're from, who you are.
Yeah. So, what about my friend Oliver?
Then you listen to a recording of Hoyt and Voss. Hoyt is angry about Snow White disrupting their operation, so demands Voss to kill Jason. Then Hoyt mentions he's going to a village to make an example of them. Jason can't kill Hoyt, otherwise Oliver will die. So Jason needs to rescue this random NPC because he will know how to find Oliver. I completely forgot this is a minefield. So you help free Rongo, but he needs to go to the village. So you escort him there. Now hold out until Rongo can find the document he needs. Willis calls, tells you where Oliver is being transported to, but you see a few bodies and a jeep. Willis calls and says he's heading to a fishery to board a chopper, so I get to a vantage point. Now it becomes a sniper mission. You wait for the chopper and then take out enemies. My first try failed because Oliver somehow died. I guess you need to take out certain enemies first. Oliver gets a boat, which Jason meets up with, and now we have another turret section. Turret sections can be fun for a bit, but feels like they're for spectacle. Jason and Oliver talk for a little bit, and then they fast travel to the cave.
Oh, I'm as high as a kite and the greenhouse is on fire.
Lisa also made a cross for Grant, and tells Jason she's worried for him. Jason thinks he's fine and on the right path. I decide to have Jason eat another pill. You head to the bathroom to find your brother Riley and your friend Keith. They got into an argument with some guys, but Jason is able to talk Keith down and leave the bathroom.
Think you're better than us? Yeah, I do. These are turf, not yours. Watch your back.
We'll see about that.
Then Willis calls and lets Jason know there's a man named Buck that has Keith. You find him, and I can't tell if he's insane or has a sick humor.
Ah, him. He said his name was...
You're hysterical.
Buck needs you to get something for him. It's the knife from the Vision. So you go out to a boat and kill a bunch of Voss's men to find a laptop and a strange-looking compass. Jason finds the location, but the laptop is attached to a bomb. So now you need to escape the sinking ship. It's a good idea to take the skill to hold your breath longer, but they give you plenty of air tanks to use. There is one QuickTime event which seemed pointless, but whatever. You get out of the ship. Jason washes up on shore and Buck is there.
Excellent, very good. Now, research says follow the compass.
Thanks for your help.
Next location, Buck is there waiting for you. Gives you a quick history lesson of the next area, which isn't that important. You explore and kill a few pirates, and this is where the jump scare is. Now it starts to feel like a Lara Croft or Indiana Jones adventure. Don't worry, the puzzles aren't complicated because they highlight what you're supposed to do. Eventually you find a piece that goes on the compass. You meet up with Buck again, who's not happy you don't have the knife. But the compass is glowing, so it knows where to go next, because magic. Of course, Buck is waiting at the next area. Another history lesson before delving into a mine. There's of course pirates for you to kill. Not much to say, it's linear, and kill enemies to eventually go down an elevator. But it of course breaks because it's old. You find the next piece of the compass, which causes the whole place to get set on fire, and the cave collapses. Just follow the marker and Jason gets outside. Buck is of course waiting for you. Same sort of thing, Jason doesn't like Buck. Buck reminds him that he has Keith, so Jason continues to do what Buck wants. You head over to the next area to talk with Buck, then head down into a cave and kill lots of enemies in a linear path. Eventually you find the knife this time, and escape with a QuickTime event. This time Buck isn't waiting for you. He calls and tells you to meet him at his hut. You give Buck the knife and find Keith in the basement. Strangely, you find Keith a changed man. From the flashback, Keith seemed like a tough guy ready to pick a fight, but Buck has made him into a coward. Then Buck comes downstairs and says both of you can't leave. So you'd think this would be a boss fight, but instead it's just a QuickTime event. Also, the area changes to look like a dance floor. I'm guessing Jason is going into his killer instinct mode, but just hit the button you're supposed to and the fight is over. Jason and Keith fast travel to the cave. They talk for a bit, but Keith says,
Riley's dead. I'm sorry. He tried to escape and they shot him.
Jason is very angry, and Lisa tries to comfort Jason, but he pushes her away. So I have Jason take another pill to deal with his depression. You can choose how Jason dances, but the guys from earlier start a fight with Jason and his friends. They quickly get to the elevator, and this guy Doug tells your group about skydiving to an island where you can do anything. So this explains how Jason and his friends ended up on the island. Then I head back to the temple and give Citra the knife. She takes Jason to a hallway and asks what he desires. Jason just wants to save his friends and kill Voss and Hoyt. Citra then tells a history about her people and the island. Something about a giant, and there was a warrior that cut off its head and the head became the island. Now she says there's a new giant, who I'm assuming she means Hoyt. So Jason needs to prove himself. As you leave, Dennis says there's a prisoner convoy they are preparing to ambush. You get to the town and help plant the explosives, then get up into a tower and wait for them. When they arrive, you notice these enemies look a little different. They are more armored, and so they take more damage. After a while, the cargo truck drives away, so you need to catch up with it. Eventually you do, but then...
Hey Jason, you miss me? Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again, expecting to change. That is crazy. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Then Voss gets mad you're staring at him, so he pushes you off a cliff, and then you should drown, but somehow Jason gets out of it. You take out a few pirates, then sneak into a base. Unfortunately, I got spotted, so I needed to slowly kill off enemies. Eventually getting to the chopper. You can shoot with a pistol, but can't aim, because you're supposed to get shot down. You crash, and wake up to see Voss again.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Thanks for watching. I hope you... I'm just kidding. Jason wakes up with a bunch of dead bodies. You QuickTime event your way out, and freak out some people.
He's come back from the dead!
Dennis shows up.
Is this possible? Luck favors you, my friend.
Jason tells him to go tell Citra he's coming, but first he needs to get his stuff back. So you head over and take out the pirates at a nearby base and get your gear. Dennis calls and tells you Voss is a mighty warrior, but Jason is committed to killing him, then Hoyt. Lastly, Dennis mentions the boat is almost ready, so he's certain Jason will be leaving soon. You go back and talk to Citra. She gives you something to drink, which gives you another vision. This time you fight the giant, dodge the attacks, and shoot explosive arrows at it. It's not that difficult, and eventually Jason kills it. Then you wake up to Citra on top of you. She says you are now officially a Rakyat. Jason then gives a speech.
We are the warriors of the Rakyat, and I will lead you to glory!
Then we fast travel to a small island where Voss must be. You take out his pirates and get inside to get a plot twist.
Surprise, motherfucker! You didn't think I knew you were coming, right?
Voss knew you were coming, so you need to fight your way through and then...
Come on! Peekaboo, motherfucker!
At first it looked like Voss had won, but surprise, you are in some crazy dream sequence.
Are you enjoying my sister's company? Huh? She's gonna make a warrior out of you.
There is this part where you need to keep killing Voss as he runs at you and time your reloads. At least this felt somewhat like a boss fight, but eventually you get to another quick time event to finally kill Voss. I'm really confused what all that meant. Did Voss actually stab Jason, but Jason went into his rage or kill mode, then finally got to kill Voss, and then collapsed because he had been stabbed? Jason does wake back up at the temple, so maybe he got rescued and they nursed him back to health? Jason then talks to Citra. Citra then talks about Voss before he became a pirate. She then asks about Jason if he's going to leave, but he says no. He's going to stay and kill Hoyt. You run into Dennis, who's drunk, and tells you a little bit about him before he got here. He basically talks about how the world treated him badly, but now with Citra, he feels like his life actually means something. Then Jason returns to the cave and tells all his friends he's not going with them. He then says goodbye to Lisa and leaves. This was actually an emotional scene, and I actually felt sad. You call Willis and ask him for help to take out Hoyt. He tells you he's flying out tonight, and if you join him, he'll fly you over Hoyt's island. You head over to the airplane, but he's getting attacked by pirates. So you take them out and then defend Willis while he fixes the airplane. It's not that difficult, but after a while, you and Willis board the airplane.
Oh, that reminds me. My man Sam is embedded with Hoyt's troops. If you whistle the Star-Spangled Banner in Thurston at the Crazy Cock Bar, he'll know I sent you.
You fly down to the island, which is almost symbolic of Jason when he and his friends arrived on the island. But now Jason is a changed man. So now you have a brand new island to explore, which means new outposts to liberate, radio towers to unlock, along with other side content. But at least you get to unlock a few new weapons. You go inside a bar and ask for Sam.
There's a regular poker game at the back.
So you head down and join in. You play for a bit, then whistle the Star-Spangled Banner, and the bald man suddenly decides to leave, which then Jason leaves and follows the man.
Who do you work for? Willis sent me.
How is he? I have been concerned about him, hearing nothing all these years.
He's fine, I guess.
Loss!
From here I decided to do a lot of side content for about 3 hours. Unlocking the towers, liberating all the outposts. I even played some more poker and went all in with a flush. But turns out this motherfucker had a 4 of a kind. Then I did a bunch of assassination missions until I finally decided to just finish the main story. You find Sam and talk to him. Sam comes up with a plan by having Jason join Hoyt's army. So you head over to a cave where new recruits go. The twist here is not to get spotted. Although I kept getting spotted because I didn't know where to go and would make a little sound, or just get spotted. Eventually finding a recruit to kill and take his uniform. Jason heads to the recruitment gathering and talks to a guard about making some extra money since Voss is dead. Then Hoyt gives a speech about what happens if you betray him. You leave the cave and tell Sam about the traitor guard, so Jason plans to kill them to get Hoyt's trust. So Sam tells Jason where the traitors might have a list of their names. You head to their base and kill their leaders in the camp. There's 3 VIPs, and now that you are in a uniform, they won't attack unless you do something suspicious. I kill all 3, but Jason only finds a note. Once you leave the area, you call Sam about the note, which says they are gathering for a meeting in a couple days. However, Sam needs you for a mission, so fast travel over there to meet with him. He says some pirates took over Hoyt's drug field. They also planted bombs, so Sam will need to disarm them.
Blitzkrieg!
Seriously?
After that, Sam says this will help Hoyt trust the 2 of them, and Sam gives you an idea where the traitor list might be. Head over there, and this one is pretty unique. It's a gorge where you zip line back and forth. You also see a meeting on a bridge, so fight your way there and get that list. Then get to the getaway vehicle. Sam says to meet at Hoyt's compound. You meet with Hoyt, and he monologues for a while. Then he blows up a boat full of people he's been holding for ransom. I guess this is to show how insane he is. Then Hoyt sends you downstairs to beat up a prisoner and find out who he is and who he works for. You go downstairs and find a guard watching a video of you and your friends when you first arrived. When you go into the cell, it's your brother Riley. Unfortunately, Jason has to keep beating him to make it look good for Hoyt.
Who do you work for?
Then Sam puts the camera on a loop, so for a few seconds Jason was able to tell Riley it's him. Jason wants to get him out, but Sam says they won't be able to. Riley even says he's injured, so Jason needs to keep torturing him for Hoyt. There's even a moment for Jason where he asks,
Who have I become?
You leave the cell and Hoyt comes down to congratulate you. He offers the 2 of you to play poker. When he leaves, Sam gives you a plan about blowing up Hoyt's satellite dish so there's no more communication between Hoyt and his army, then blow up fuel depots. During this chaos, Hoyt will be less guarded so they can kill him at the poker game. So head over and take out the guards, then plant the C4 to blow up the door to the bunker. However, the entrance collapses, so you need to fight more guards and get to the satellite dish. Plant the C4, wait until Sam gets there, then get to the chopper, and watch the fireworks. Next, you meet with Sam and drive around to different fuel depots and plant C4. At least Sam will cover you with a turret. But for some reason, he died. Seriously, he went from full health to 0. Luckily, I didn't have to restart the whole mission and just plant one more C4. Then you drive to a spot where Jason takes over the turret now, while Sam arms the last bomb. It's just another turret section. Both of you get out and high five. Sam says to meet him at Hoyt's compound for the poker game. This is the last mission, so feel free to finish all remaining side content. The game will warn you about this. So let's do this. Sam says he has a knife in his boot. So when he says deal, Jason will distract Hoyt. However...
Sorry. House rules. Ah, look at that. We have the same cards. So let's raise the stakes a little, shall we?
Yep, Hoyt knew it was Jason the whole time. I feel like this was a thing for villains back then. They might have started with the Dark Knight and how the Joker seemed to know everything and be one step ahead of everybody. Voss somehow knew Jason was still alive, and now Hoyt knew it was Jason the whole time. Anyway, you continue to play poker and Hoyt cuts off one of Jason's fingers. Now we get into his kill mode. As expected, it's a quick time event. Just hit the right buttons and Jason will wake up and see he killed a room full of guards and Hoyt. That's why it seems to be his kill mode, because who knows how Jason was able to do it. So now you need to kill guards and get Riley before the timer runs out. You rescue Riley at an airfield, and then again, get to the chopper with Riley and hold off the enemies for another turret section. I'm worried about playing the audio because, again, copyrighted music. Don't want YouTube taking down another retrospective. Rest in peace, Sea Dogs Retrospective. Anyway, this is an easy turret section, and honestly, I'm getting tired of them. You go to the professor's mansion, but it's on fire. You find the doctor mortally wounded. He says he couldn't stop the jungle warriors. They took Jason's friends to the temple. Head back to the chopper and Riley will take you there. Jason talks to Citra, but she blows something in your face to knock him out. She drugs Jason because the cleansing is almost complete. Once that happens, she'll be all yours. So Jason breaks free and follows the path. Lisa keeps showing up as you walk further. When you get to the end, Citra gives you the knife, which you take, and now you have the choice. To save your friends or kill them. I decided to have Jason save his friends. Citra is not happy and thinks he's making a mistake, where he could stay here and be a king and be with her.
Jason, I love you.
Jason! What is wrong with you? Sister, she saved me. She saved all of us. And you reject her love? Ah!
I love you. Don't leave me.
I'm sorry.
Citra, please. Do not leave me, please.
Jason has a little monologue, but that's it. In case you're wondering, if you choose the other option, you kill Lisa, then have sex with Citra, but then Citra kills Jason. The reason is he deserves a warrior's death. I prefer the other ending. In conclusion, Far Cry 3 is still a great game. Ubisoft learned from Far Cry 2 and made a more enjoyable experience. With a great main story, you have the choice to solely focus on that, but it will be tough. That's where doing the side content will help make it easier, liberating outposts for less enemies, unlocking towers to see the map and free weapons, as well as hunting for animal skins to unlock more weapon slots and ammo. It gives you plenty of content to stretch the game out longer. I can understand if people feel like it's a grind, and right now the thought of starting a new game and having to do all the side content again doesn't sound like fun. Like I said earlier, I love the unscripted moments with random enemies and random places. This game gives you so many options to play how you want. The later games would implement a new game plus, which carries over your previous playthrough with everything you unlocked, but now the game is harder. Which I remember Far Cry 5 being a fun challenge, but have yet to finish my second playthrough. But maybe I'll save that for a future retrospective. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone had a great 2021, and we shall see what happens in 2022. I'm still aiming for at least one retrospective per month and have a huge list of games I want to do retrospectives on. So please continue to show your support by hitting that subscribe button, liking my videos, and commenting on what you thought. As always, please show support from my friends at Traveling Calligrapher, Life Live Candidly, and The Speakeasy. Links are in the description. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.